and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing this daytime glam look and then switching it up using these limited edition simple wipes which are designed by Holly Fulton into this nighttime super smoky glam look. So if you would like to see how I got from the day to night glam, then please keep watching. To start off the daytime glam, I am using this Tarte Marajuku oil as a moisturiser to keep my skin hydrated all day before going on to putting some lip glam on my lips just to keep them hydrated as well. Then grabbing this LA Girl Pro Conceal Green Concealer, I'm just applying this onto the areas where I have any kind of redness because this is going to counteract that colour when we put the foundation on. And for foundation I'm using the Makeup Forever HD Ultra HD foundation, and I'm just putting this on with my damp beauty blender all over my face. Moving on to the concealer, I am using this Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer in the shade Light Golden in the usual areas that I like to conceal and highlight. And this for me, I feel like it's a dupe for the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer because it's very thick and very pigmented, and it does a great job at brightening as well. So here I'm just blending all those areas where I applied this out with my damp beauty blender before I go in and set those areas, and for that I use the MAC Prep and Prime CC powder, and this is a yellow toned powder. So I'm putting a lot of it on my under eyes and then slightly dusting it in the other areas. I'm just going to let this sit for a bit whilst I do my eyebrows, and I've done this off camera and I'll leave a link to my eyebrow routine in the info box below, but now I'm just brushing off the excess. Now for contour I used the Flawless Chisel Cheeks Contour Kit by Barry M, and I took the darkest shade that it has in it, and I'm just going in and contouring my cheeks. And I've been doing powder contours quite a lot recently, which is why I'm not really kind of doing much of the cream contours, and I'm still really loving it. So once I've done that, I'm darkening that up very slightly using one of my favourites, and that's the Crushed Walnut eyeshadow by Natural Collections, and then I'm also slightly contouring my nose. And for blusher, I use this beautiful pink Milani Baked blusher on my cheeks, and it just gives a really nice rosy pink look to the whole cheeks. I also decided to add a little bit of the Kevyn Aucoin Celestial powder onto the tops of my cheeks as a very subtle daytime highlight, which you guys know I can't live without, so I'm just putting it a little bit on my cheeks and on the bridge of my nose, above my brows, my cupid's bow and chin. Now moving on to the eyes, I'm using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance in Lemon Drop to prime the whole lids before going on with the transition shade, and for that I used the same Crushed Walnut eyeshadow which we used on the cheeks. And this is just going to add dimension to the eyes, and it's not going to make it look flat. And I decided that I also wanted to add a little bit of that same Kevyn Aucoin Celestial powder into my brow bone, so I'm just doing that with the same fluffy brush again. Moving on to the main bulk of the eyeshadow, I'm using this eyeshadow here which is called Diamond Dog, and I'm just packing that onto the centre of my eyelids using my fingers, and it is a gorgeous brown glittery shade. But then I went on top of that with Glitter Rock eyeshadow just to add a pop of pink. And I absolutely loved this combination of glitters. I think it looks absolutely fab. For mascara, I'm using my usual mascara combo, you guys. You've seen me do this so many times, so I'm going to be speeding this all up for you guys. For my lips, I use this gorgeous Stila Stale Day Liquid Lipstick in the shade Amalfi, I believe it's called. And it is a little bit drying, so it's always very good that you've got a good lip balm on underneath, or you can always pop a lip balm on top. But the shade of this lipstick is just so beautiful that I couldn't resist not getting it. And to set my makeup, I use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Medium Plus just to kind of go over the rest of my face where I felt like I wanted to make sure that everything was set and put. So this, you guys, is my kind of daytime glam look. I personally love this. I would so wear this out for like a day out with the girls. And yeah, I really hope you guys liked this daytime version. For the makeup switch up, I'm going to be using these new simple wipes which are designed by Holly Fulton, and they come in a pink and black packaging which look so cute that I don't like to hide them away on my vanity. I like to keep them on my vanity table. So here I'm just using the pink ones, and what I like to do with this whenever I want to switch up my makeup using any wipes, I like to put my finger into the wipe and kind of use it as a guide. And this, as you can see, is a very, very strong liquid lipstick, but it comes off very, very easily, which is great. And just so that my foundation is looking all normal, I'm just going over with my Beauty Blender to make sure everything is nice and seamless. Now I'm doing the same thing with my eyes, so I'm poking my finger in and using that as a guide and as kind of like a bit of a tool to help make sure that I'm taking the makeup that I want to take off. So this is what my eye looks like with and without makeup, and yeah, I'm just doing the same exact thing to the other eye. And by doing this with your finger, you kind of avoid getting any mascara off, which is great. So now that I'm done with my simple wipe, I am just fixing up any foundation that got taken away in the process and moving straight onto the dark eyes for the night. So I'm using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance again in Lemon Drop just to prime my lids to make sure that whatever work that we do doesn't move and budge all night long. So I'm starting off by using this eyeliner with a sponge tip applicator, and I'm basically just drawing a kind of thick eyeliner onto my top lash line. And this doesn't have to be neat or anything like that because we are going to be smudging it out. And I wanted to go for kind of like a fake smoky eye for this look, which is why I decided to go really dark on the eyes and also dark on the lips. So I'm just taking a brush here and just blending out the edges until I was happy with the way that the eyes were looking. And once I was happy, I went back in with that eyeliner and lined my upper and lower waterlines with this product as well. And then I did take this eyeliner again on my lower lash line and kind of smoked that out a little bit as well, just to balance out the top and the bottom of the eyes. I went over with the same brush to make sure that all those lines were nicely diffused and blended out as well before working on the crease. And for the crease I used the Too Faced bronzer, and this is in the darkest shade, and I'm just running that along the kind of crease of my eye just to make sure all the colours look nice and blended in together. Then taking the Super Cat eyeliner by the Soap and Glory brand, I'm just giving my eyes a bit more definition and just lining them. I'm not doing a wing or anything like that, I'm just doing a medium to thick kind of line as my top liner. And once I was done with that, I decided to add a bit more of an extreme highlight on my cheeks. And here I'm using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal. I love layering makeup when it comes to like day to night looks, which is why I'm adding more product onto my skin. And once I was done with that, I added a bit of the NARS Dolce Vita blusher onto my cheeks just to kind of warm them up so they weren't looking too pink for this kind of makeup look. And then I applied that same Too Faced bronzer onto the rest of my face, so just on top of where we contoured earlier and kind of in my hairline and jawline, and until I was happy with the way that it was looking. And I did also get a clean fluffy brush to make sure, you know, everything was nicely blended. So that's what I'm doing here before moving on to the lips. And for the lips I used the Stila Stale Day Liquid Lipstick in the shade Aria, which is a gorgeous kind of plummy purple colour, and I put this on all over my lips. And I wanted to actually darken it up a little bit more, so I did go over top with it with a MAC lipstick, and this is in the shade Living Legend. Now this I believe is a limited edition shade or something, so there are similar colours which I will try and list in the info box below for you all, but this is the beautiful shade that it turns into. And then I also added some falsies on as well, seeing as it was a nighttime kind of glam look. And these are the Ardell Demi Wispy Lashes. And just to finish off the kind of whole eye look, I'm just adding a little bit of the Super Cat eyeliner onto my top liner again, just to make sure that everything was nice and seamless after putting the lashes on. So this, you guys, is my final kind of nighttime glam look. It is very something that I would wear like on a night out or out for dinner. And I just really hope you guys enjoyed this, and it was something a little bit different. I really liked filming kind of day to night kind of looks, so I'm definitely going to try and do some more for you all. But until next time, guys, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!